Shabbos. You here, you made it. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to begin Kabbalat Shabbat in our blue Siddur on page 12. Page 12, Yedid Nefesh. You hear?
Barely.
Page 12, Yedid Nefesh. Okay. Yedid Nefesh of Harachaman Nishoftecha El Ritzonecha Yarutz Avdecha Kemo Try that with me. We open up our hearts to Shabbat, our mouths open in prayer. We turn to page 22. Page 24. Four lines from the bottom of page 24.
Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Letagel haaretz, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Letagel haaretz. Get ready to clap twice. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, umelo. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, umelo. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Letagel haaretz. Here we go again. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, umelo. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, umelo.
Page 26, bottom of the page. 26.
Yananai, 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 yanai, 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 yananai, yananai, yanai, yanai, yananai, or saru alat sadi.
Page 28. Middle of the page.
Zamaru l'Adonai v'chino, v'chino v'kol zimra. Zamaru l'Adonai
bottom of the page.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'nishtachtavu Har Kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'nishtachtavu Har Kodsho. Adonai Eloheinu Romemu.
Page 34.
Yanai, 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 yadadadadai. Yanai, 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 yadadadadai. Mizmor David, Havul Adonai B'nai Eli. Havul Adonai, Kavod Va'oz. Ay, 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 Havul Adonai, Kivod Shemo, Yishlach Havul Adonai, Hazrat Kodesh, Kol Adonai al Hamayim, El HaKavod Yirim, Adonai, Almighty Ravim, Kol Adonai, Takoach, ay, 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 Kol Adonai, Lehadar, Kol Adonai, Shover Arazim, Vaishaber Adonai, Ezar Zei Halvanon, Vayar Kidem Kmo Egel, Lebanon, Besirion, Kemo Vein Re'emim, ay, 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 Kol Adonai, Otzeb Lahabotesh, Kol Adonai, Yachil Midbar, Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai Cholel Ayalon, Vayecheso, Ye'aron, U'Heichalo, Kulo Merkavod, Adonai Lamabul Yashav Vayishev, Adonai Melech Leolam, Adonai Oz Le'avoitein, Adonai Yevarech Zamo V'Shalom. Ay, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Hey.
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 How sweet it is to come together and sing a song in the praise of God. In Matov Umanaim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Umevorah Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Shabbat Shalom Umevorah Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. We pause at this time in our service to remember with reverence the yahrzeits of our beloved departed that are observed today, the second day of Nisan. We remember Jack Altman, Henry Becker, Judith Blank, Dora Blufeld, Abraham Cohen, Esther Fleekop, Samuel Fleischer, Sarah Fryman, Michael Gamsey, Rose Hecht Goldberg, Morris M. Kasoff, Dr. Jules Levin, Bessie Rose Marks, Betty Mofsovitz, George Nasdor, Raymond Polovita, and Louis Resnick. Emmanuel Richmond, Sprinska Sonia Rosenzweig, Howard Morris Seligman, Isidore E. Singer, and Eva Spind. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may all of their memories forever be a blessing. And will those people who are observing a yahrzeit or in a period of mourning turn to the Mourner's Kaddish, which you can find on page 124. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rava.
Amen.
Bialma divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala ubizman kari v'yimaru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rav amavarach leolam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kudesha brechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata. Da'amiran bi'alma v'yimaru. Amen. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru. Amen. May your loved ones' memories always be a blessing. We turn back in our Siddurim now to page 38 for Lecha Dodi.
We'll sing 3 verses and then go to the next page for the final verse and rise. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabla. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, ishmi'anu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומיצי מתוך ההפכה. רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
The bottom of page 40.
בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמונה עם סגולה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה,
We remain standing as we extend our condolences to the family of the late Beverly Robinson. We conclude on the bottom of page 41 with the traditional words that we extend to mourners. Hamakom yinachem etchem b'toch sha'ar avalei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the Holy One who comforts Israel grant you solace in your bereavement. We remain standing and we turn to page 50 for the Baruch.
Barechu et Adonai HaMelorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed.
And we are seated. We turn now to page 51 for our responsive reading, which tonight will be read by Nate and Lila Black. Woo-hoo. And the crowds go wild. Page 51. And I am remembering when you guys were born, which is a little crazy to me. All right.
O Lord, your word brings on the evening twilight. The heavens proclaim your glory. And we, your creatures on earth, behold in wonder your endless miracles. Help us recognize your guiding power in distant galaxies and our own souls. Teach us your law of righteousness and love, so that your spirit may govern our lives.
Source of peace,
bless our worship. May our meditations find favor in your sight. May our gratitude for your wonders lead us in love to your service, so that, like the changing seasons, the days and nights, our lives too will proclaim your glory.
Amen.
Great job, you two. O Mavilium Vilaila, O Mabil Ben Yom Vilaila, Adonai Tzebaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimlok Aleinu Leolam Vaed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Amari
We continue on page 52.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amtata Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu B'shokvenu u'bekumenu Nasiach b'kukecha V'titzrak v'divrei Toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. יהי חיינו באורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה. באהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
We remain seated. We turn to page 54 and we cover our eyes for the Shema.
שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך, בכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We continue in quiet prayer on page 56.
והיה
And we join together in the middle of page 57. Therefore, keep these words of mine in your heart and in your soul. Bind them as a sign upon your arm and let them be a reminder above your eyes. Teach them to your children, speaking of them when you are at home and when you are away, when you lie down at night and when you rise up in the morning. Write them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. Thus your days and the days of your children will be multiplied on the land, which the Lord promised to your ancestors, for as long as the heavens remain over the earth. Turning to page 58.
Hayom Adonai Moshe lemor daber. Adonai Elohechem emet.
The middle of page 60.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל לכנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, תורה תהילות אוסף אלה, תורה תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ובניך, בוקע ים לפני משה. זה עליינו ואמרו, זה עליינו ואמרו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We turn to page 63 for our responsive reading, which Jane will lead us in tonight.
Help us, O God, to lie down in peace, but teach us that peace means more than quiet.
Remind us that if we are to be at peace at night, we must take heed of how we live by day.
Grant us the peace that comes from honest dealing, so that no fear of discovery will haunt our sleep.
Rid us of resentments and hatreds which rob us of the peace we crave.
Liberate us from enslaving habits which disturb us and give us no rest.
May we inflict no pain, bring no shame, and seek no profit from another's loss.
May we so live that we can face the world with serenity and with grace.
May we feel no remorse at night for what you have done during the day.
May we lie down in peace tonight and awaken tomorrow to a richer and fuller life.
Amen. My pleasure.
ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
Continuing on page 64.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. בששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה,
אמן.
ועלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, וחייקון ויום יכון, ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. יהי שם רבם מבורך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיא.
יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשא בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה, זמירן ועלמה, ואמרו amen.
We rise for the evening Amidah, which is recited on page 69 quietly through page 76. At the end of your Amidah, you can always make time for your own personal prayer.
שלום רב על ישראל עמך ועל כל יושבי תבל. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון בכל השלום, כי אתה הוא מלך אדון בכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך ועל כל יושבי תבל. שלום רב על ישראל עמך נשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך ועל כל יושבי סבל. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, נשים לעולם, נשים לעולם, נשים לעולם.
We are seated and turn to page 80, Vayechulu.
ויכולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויקל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
Continuing on page 82.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, אלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, פונה שמיים וארץ. Everybody's a critic. מגן אבות נמגרו, וחיי מתים במאמרו. האל הקדוש אין כמוהו, המניח לעמו. ביום שבת קודשו, כי בם רצה להניח להם, כי בם רצה להניח להם. לפניו נעבוד ביראה ופחד, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד בין הברכות. אל ההודעות אדון השלום, מקדש השבת ומברך שביעי, ומניח בקדושה, לעמד ושני עונג, זכר למעשה, למעשה בראשית. יתגדל ויתקדש שם ירבה, תלמד יברק אלוהי וימליך מלכותי בחיי כל בימי כל נפקד כל בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבם מברך לעולם עולם מעלמיה. Yitvarak vishtabak vitvoa vitoma vitnase vitadav yitale vitalal shemede kudisha. Rekule lamin kol birkata v'shirata tushbekata v'nekamata daviran be'alma ve'imeru. Amen. Titkabal salot olvad on the kol Yisrael kadam v'hon v'shamai ve'imeru. Amen. Yehish lama rabam shemai v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen. Ose shalom b'mamav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen.
I am so excited to get to invite Rebecca Hannah Board to come forward now to lead our community in Kiddush. This weekend, the Shabbos, Rebecca is going to become a bat mitzvah, and it's a pretty special and remarkable time, and we're all so excited. So I know that there are a lot of Board cousins in the room. If Becca is comfortable, why don't you guys come up? And I see Julia's back there, and Harper, not sure if you're too old now, if you want to come up. But let's bring the kids up, and we'll surround Becca and turn to page 90 as she leads us in Kiddush.
Yeah, I don't. Oh my God, that's a lot of lines. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'tzvotah v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kadsheho b'yava uvratzon kinhi lanu zikaron lema'aseh reishi ki hu yom tehillah lemikre kodesh zeher litzia mitzrayim kivanu be'harta
Ve'otanu kidasha mikol hamim ve'shabbat kodshecha b'yava uvratzon inkaltanu.
Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat.
Amen.
Mazal tov and yishar kocheh. Great job, Becca.
You're not driving home tonight, are you?
Everyone can have lollipops.
Tastes good, right?
Everyone may be seated. Great job, Becca.
Shabbat shalom lekulam. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Shalom.
No, how's the mic? Is it okay? Yeah,
What?
There we go. Always a joker, this one. Oh, my dog has been in a Romeo and Juliet situation for the last 2 months. Every time we go outside to take a walk, she immediately pulls me along this path so that she is under the balcony of Copper. Oh, Copper is a lab mix, and he likes to come out and he stares at her and she stares up at him. And there's like a lot of begging on my part. Come on, princess, come on, let's go. But I've let her have this, well, it's a role reversal swap since she is the lady and she's on the ground and Romeo is up in the balcony high above her. I've let her have this moment maybe like once a week because really since we adopted her in September, we haven't allowed her to be around other dogs. Oh, Princess was, she is 100% Baltimore street dog, and yes, which I also like to call a lab mix. with a big wink. And when we got her from the animal shelter, it turned out that she had a lot of health issues, and that because of those health issues, she could spread certain things to other dogs, so we're keeping her away from other dogs then. And then when she got really healthy and was doing a lot better, she would just get so excited around other dogs, she would flip out and like lose her mind. And so then we had to enroll her in obedience classes and figure out like, okay, we have like a problematic teenager, like what do we do with her? So she's not really allowed to be around other dogs. She loses her mind. So I do let her though be at the balcony of Copper, and she gets her like doggy love feelings out at the balcony. It just so happens that yesterday, when I was taking her out on her walk and I allowed her to stare at Copper's balcony, I could see that Copper wasn't there. This isn't a sad Devar, so we can all relax. There's no doggy death over here. I could see that Copper was hanging out in our apartment building's dog park, and I made a kind of split-second decision that I would go see if the owner would let us try and play together for the first time. And we're very friendly with the owner from the balcony Romeo-Juliet situation. So everyone knows Princess and Princess's past experiences or past life. But we get to the dog park and I speak to the owner. The owner says, you know, Princess is looking so good. She really seems like a different dog. Why don't you bring her on into the dog park? And so I did. I unhooked the leash. Princess is tied to me by my waist all the time. She's like a big girl. And I unclip her and we go into the dog park and she's frolicking. My Baltimore street dog is now frolicking with a fancy bred Golden Poodle, whatever that my neighbor has. She's frolicking with Copper. And I start taking pictures of the two of them and texting it to like our dog trainers and to my partner, and my partner is freaking out and he's like, oh my God, is this real? Is this photoshopped? And I'm like, no, it's really happening. It's really happening. And the other dog owner, Judith, she turns to me and she says, Princess has really grown so much. Right? And it's like the thing that we want to hear about ourselves, right? That like you have grown so much as a person, you are on a journey, you've improved, you're doing wonderful. It's a little bit awkward to like say it to other people, but when you're two dog owners, it's totally okay. And I was like, I know she's taken 3 behavioral classes. Right, but we both remember what Princess was like when I first got her, when she was like severely malnourished and she had all these health issues and like she's freaking out about other dogs. It was like she's like a brand new doggy right now. And the thing that Judith sparked for me, that this other dog owner sparked for me, is the idea of like being on a journey, because Princess Torta, her journey actually like isn't over. She hasn't reached peak dogginess. All of her, behavioral quirks, like they're still kind of under the surface. And just because she's had one really nice encounter with another canine doesn't really guarantee anything about any other dogs that are in our life. But Princess, just like the rest of us, is in process. She has characteristics that she's trying to work on, or that I'm trying to work on for her. And ourselves, in our own lives, we have midot, we have our own ethics that we're trying to cultivate, and ways that we're trying to be better, the ways that we're trying to grow as people, dogs, it's all the same. And Judith was able to say, like, your dog is making really good progress. Your dog is like kind of in the middle of this this growth experience. And I was like, what about us? You know, how do we get to call out that we're in the middle of this growth experience? It just so happens that Judaism has a ritual for that. We just started the new month. So we're currently in the Jewish month of Nisan, began on Wednesday. And this month has a holiday in it called Passover. Yes, Pesach, Passover, the holiday of liberation, but really a holiday that's all about process, that's all about change. We move from this experience of slavery into one of freedom, but that's not where the story ends. The story continues in every one of our lives, where we choose how to live out our free lives, where we choose how to embrace Jewish ritual, perhaps through a bat mitzvah, or we choose how we're going to bring God and Judaism into our lives. That's what we have the freedom to do, the freedom to make that choice. In the month of Nisan, there is a mitzvah, there's a commandment that only exists in this month. And it's not the holiday of Passover. We are invited to make a blessing when we see a newly flowering tree. This is a mitzvah, this is a commandment that is only applicable in the month of Nisan. When we are walking along or driving along and we see a tree, it has to be a fruit tree. That's the hard part, and I Googled what's a fruit tree that's native to Maryland. It turns out it's a pawpaw. So if you're driving around, there's probably others, but if you're driving around and you see a flowering fruit tree, such as a pawpaw, and you can see that the flowers have emerged and that they're starting to open up, then that's the moment where you say this bracha, where you say this blessing. And I printed out, very fancy-like, 100 copies of the blessing. Oh, right, and they're right over there by the entrance. They're by the entrance of the sanctuary. Why would our tradition ask us to say a blessing, not at the beginning of something, not at like the planting of the seed that grows into this tree, but why say a blessing over the bloom as it emerges, this middle part of the process, this middle part of the journey, specifically in the month of Nisan and at no other time of the year? I think it's because Judaism wants to remind us that we have to stop and pause in order to see the small progresses that we've made along the way. It's so easy for us to not realize that we're in the middle of something, that we're in the middle of growing and improving and changing. Judaism asks us to really look for it, to be able to call it out in others in like a really nice way. Oh, just like the flowering fruit tree, just like the flower that opens up but hasn't yet turned into a fruit itself, we are also constantly in that state of opening up. We are constantly in that state of growing just a little bit more, in turning into a little bit more of the type of person that we want to become. Just like my dog, Princess Torta, we're all in the middle of our journey for the entire time that we're alive. Oh, I'd like to invite everybody to embrace that process, to grab the bracha on your way out, to be on the lookout for those flowering fruit trees, but more to be on the lookout for the people that are flowering within our lives and the way that we ourselves are really blooming. Shabbat Shalom.
I love the way you tied the dog in with the
Thank you.
pawpaw.
That is how it's pronounced, right? Pawpaw is the first
Okay, where can we find pawpaw trees? Anyone? Cantor Blatt just said that they were like a mango tree, which makes me want to find a pawpaw tree. Anyone? 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 All right, we'll have to find them. We are going to turn to page 118, and we'll rise for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה יוצא בראשית, שלום אותם חלקנו כהם, וגול עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו משתקמים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו וגבהם אלוהים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו ככתוב בתורתו ויראת היום והשבות אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד.
Page 120.
הכתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We pause at this time. Everyone may be seated. We pause at this time to remember with reverence the yahrzeits of our dearly beloved that are observed tonight until tomorrow night, the third day of Nisan. Howard Adler, Paul Bernstein, Harvey Bernard Cummins, Sylvia Epstein, Edward Feldman, Esther Feldstein, Stella Foss, Hilda Friedman, Edward Geltman, Benjamin Gendison, Marvin Ginsburg, Arnold Goldberger, Dora Goldgeier, Louis Goldstein, Mr. Neil Gorn, Sarah L. Graber, Alan Greenblatt, Harry Hammett, Priscilla Lazarus, Edward Edel Joseph Offit, Ray Schaefer, Sally Marcus Wolf, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. May all of their memories always be a beautiful blessing in our world and in our lives. And for those people in a period of mourning or observing a yahrzeit, please rise. We turn to page 124 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bialma divrach irute v'yamlich malchute. B'chaye echon u'vyom echon u'vchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'yimaru. Amen. Yehi shmei rab b'mevarach le'olam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brechu. Le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran bi'alma v'yimeru. Amen. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen.
Amen.
May your loved ones' memories be a blessing. A few announcements. Our announcements are that tomorrow morning our services will be here in the Berman Rubin Sanctuary at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow evening services will be at 7:15, and you can find them online. Sunday 9:15, Sunday evening 5:30, and we would like to wish a big mazal tov to the Board family, and especially to Rebecca and her parents and grandparents on this really special weekend. So we are going to conclude tonight on page 16 with Shalom Aleichem, but before we do, also for anyone who wants to learn tomorrow morning, there are 2 learning opportunities. At 9 o'clock on Zoom, there's a Parsha HaShavua, a weekly Torah portion study, and then at 9 o'clock in the building, there's a weekly prophets study in the book of Joshua, and that's held in the boardroom. Hope to see you at one of those. We will conclude on page 16 with Shalom Aleichem.
Rabbi Zaslow, thank you for reminding me that Passover is coming. We really had no idea. Now, at the Trader Joe's has matzah, shmura matzah. We know that there are a number of 4s in the Haggadah. There are 4 cups of wine, right? What else are there 4 of? 4 sons. What else? There's 4 questions? Really? I know that we have a number of young people in here. Some of you might be reciting the 4 questions at the Seder. Any of you going to be reciting the 4 questions?
Finger pointing.
You've been volunteered.
Shalom Aleichem, Malekei Hasharit, Malekei Elyon, Malekei Elyon, Mimelech Malkei Hamlakim, Akadosh Baruch Hu, Mimelech Malkei Hamlakim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malakei hashalom, Malakei Elyon, Malakei Elyon, Mimelech Malkei Hamlakim, Akadosh Baruch Hu, Mimelech Malkei Hamlakim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Thankfully, there are also 4 verses to Shalom Aleichem. Baruchuni leshalom, Malakei hashalom, Malakei Elyon, Malakei Elyon, Mimelech Malkei Hamlakim, Akadosh Baruch Hu, Mimelech Malkei Hamlakim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem leshalom, Malakei hashalom, Malakei Elyon, Malakei Elyon, Mimelech Malkei Hamlakim, Akadosh Baruch Hu, Mimelech Malkei Hamlakim, Akadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbos. Shabbos.
Looks like we made it. Hello. It's a big deal. I told my friends, by the way, who have kids there. I was like, this is great. Oh, I didn't. I just told you. Hey, do you need an? Oh my gosh, absolutely. I told you in class. I'm like,
Judy, very good.
7917.
7917.
Starburst like the candy.
Starburst. Like the candy.
7917 Starburst.